Warning. Warning. If you hear something that makes you upset on the broadcast, true, opinion, or otherwise, you are free to sign off or go to another channel. If you can't, please contact the displayed number below to seek help. Trolling and hate watching is more serious than you think. Now back to our scheduled broadcast.
You can get on any ride you like, Kyle!
Shut up! You're not my dad!
This winter, Disney Pixar doesn't present Not My Dad, because being someone else's dad isn't always easy.
What the fuck? Huh?
Subscribe because it's not a bad idea. This is Kev, your brutally honest one, your tribal chiefer. Also, the last ninja on Earth. Because if Tom Cruise can be the last samurai, an old YouTube nigga can pretend to wield a lightsaber, a fictitious weapon, by the way, but one will try to argue on these panels that the government already has them, just like the Robo-Beckies. You know, I guess I just gave some of y'all hope out there. If a tether can in fact be a real nigga, then I can be the last ninja on Earth, but you know, one can only dream. All right, so let's not beat around the bush. You see the question on the screen. This question, this is an interrogative statement, but the idea has been made as a declarative statement. One would say that this virtual space that is supposed to be for black men, called the Black Manosphere, is dead, or at least not the same Black Manosphere it was years ago, which, please, someone with an understanding of the history of things can tell me. You know, we can, I'm one that understands that I'm still learning, so I'm not going to approach this rant like I know everything, but I guess they saying it's dead because it's what the space is compared to what it's supposed to be. Yes, it is supposed to be a space of productive, everyday, because I know these things are subjective, black men, you know, who wants to share ideas and point out the problems in the black community, which includes, you know, politics and relationships, you know, those viewpoints. And no, I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. This is not some coup against the Black Manosphere. This is not some, you know, yet another content creator saying, oh, I'm no longer a part of the Black Manosphere. You know, I want to hear that shit. But all right, moving right along. Why would any content creator say this Black Manosphere is dead? I mean, what do they mean when they say that? Because quite frankly, it sounds stupid, and what they're doing is undermining, you know, any of the guys who have level heads that don't mind being a part of it. But let me clarify now for the ones that are watching this video that don't know or have a general understanding of what a manosphere or a Black manosphere is. I might lose you with this rant at some point. If your understanding of a manosphere or a Black manosphere is just, you know, somebody like a Andrew Tate or Fresh and Fit or Kevin Samuels or just pearly things, you know, which quite frankly, you know, is an insult within itself to suggest that just pearly things is a part of a space ruled by black men. and you know, whoever says that is dumb, just dumb. But if that's your perception of it, then I might lose you guys with this rant as well. But you can feel free to hit the like button, and you're invited to leave a comment as well. And you can stick around and watch anyway. You might learn something new. But now, do I believe that a manosphere or Black manosphere is dead? The answer for me is no, I don't believe that. However, I do believe that sometimes the spaces that are referred to the Black manosphere can bastardize themselves sometimes. I mean, you know, because many know and understand, like, as far as content creators, that many are looking for daddyisms, whether they participate in the panels, they leave comments in the live chat, live stream, or content creators themselves. They're looking for daddyisms and trauma bond under the guise of brotherhood, making it excuse doctrine for men, just like modern day feminism is excuse doctrine for women, But to be fair, some content creators involved with this Black Manosphere have good intentions for Black men in particular, especially young Black men that currently exist in a social climate and culture that puts them at a disadvantage. Some of us, give Black men the awareness, Black men in general, that they aren't crazy, that, what they see with their eyes is actually true. And that just because some stupid simp and or Miss Andress says that Black men need to go to therapy instead of doing podcasts doesn't mean that Black men need to stop doing podcasts and go to therapy. Foundational Black American men in American culture have been bombarded with gaslighting. Nope. Many Black men aren't just being sensitive, crying and whining, refuse to deal with their trauma. We just realized that we're surrounded by a bunch of bitch-led assholes who views life through the eyes of mama. But it will always ultimately lead back to, hey, Black men, since you know already that all of this is happening, what are you gonna do about it? Which I do understand. So let's talk about the perception of why certain content creators, great and small, would push this belief that Black Manosphere or a Manosphere is indeed dead. And from what I understand, the original first incarnation of the Manosphere was conceptualized by Black men, not only on YouTube, but on other platforms as well. So adding the word Black really isn't necessary, but the clarity of adding Black to Manosphere is because when the Pale guys made their own Manosphere, suddenly you got these old give up weak ass niggas acting like, ooh, the white man's came up with it. The white man's ice is always colder. Nope, inaccurate. And I thank my red pill and black pill brother for that knowledge. You guys know who you are. But you know what? That's just it, isn't it? Black men came up with it. So you gotta hear all this unnecessary complaining about what Black men are talking about just because some Black men are blunt with their words or brutally honest. Every time, and I know this from personal experience, every time Black men create anything that is a space, we are tasked by quote fingers, the Black community, to save the Black community. So within this Manosphere, Black Manosphere, if these particular Black men, these content creators, say or do anything less than strategize to saving quote fingers the Black community, yes, we in here in the self-proclaimed Black Manosphere, we're supposed to slay the dragon. But unbeknownst to these content creators, we were also supposed to crack the code. Crack the code to what, you ask? And it's called getting more bitches, getting these hoes to act right, getting the women to finally treat the men with respect and make sandwiches and doing wild things with their hands, like, cupping some balls, all of that shit. And since the aforementioned is almost impossible at best, since the Black Manosphere couldn't come up with results and the solutions to these conundrums that these guys say they are having, then supposedly the Black Manosphere failed, so all the content creators just need to shut up and get in line with the status quo. We didn't slay the dragon. Question for those who came before us. If this dragon was around on your watch, why is it still alive? I guess that means you guys failed the mission.
I got this.
Listen, none of us are really in a position to be smug. But, for critics, I'm not saying that you are completely wrong for using your freedom of speech to share your thoughts on certain content creators. it does become cumbersome sometimes. And yes, a content creator can be a bad influence, hence the term influencer. When you have black men who are older and supposed to be wiser that can do YouTube live streams, telling black men in front of 400, 500 live viewers, if you shame women of questionable character, like the hoes, enough, that they will change and they will eventually start to act right, if you use, factual information like, statistics and, news articles. But you have to understand, when you're dealing with nigger rules, that people don't care, you're dealing with an emotional set of people. So to sit there and, thinking that, if you just talk to them enough about it, then that shit's gonna actually work. It's a defeated look, my guy. You'll embarrass yourself following such stupid advice. Over explaining anything to people unreceptive to you is a waste of time, especially the bitches and the hoes. I mean, speaking of which, many critiques of the Black Manosphere say instead of the space being a viable think tank to restore the agency of black men, strategies on political forward motion, networking, and empowerment, and people say that none of that is happening. Instead, it's only become a space where men would rather gossip and speak negatively, blaming women, in numerous conversations that are unnecessary. When these same guys really want the women they're talking about. Now, I'm not saying that this does not happen, or black men can do nothing wrong. I try not to push the lies that I may not be aware of. And you know what? This may be true for a handful of black men content creators. Just misogyny and all those other buzz terms y'all like to use. Shoot, if you label me with that, I'm one of those guys that I'm just an a-hole, and I will proudly claim it. Yeah, misogyny. Yeah, I'm all about that life. Just don't come to me with the bullshit. Shoot. But I'm telling you this right now, for any amount of these guys doing this, this is not a real problem. It ain't like I heard Black Manosphere, these guys, these red pill content creators preaching about aborting a baby when you discover its gender. If you're a black man and a red pill / manosphere content creator speaking on how fucked up the black community and black relationships are, assigning accountability to women instead of a black woman spewing genocide of foundational black American boys in the womb through dilation procedure abortions, and on panels and such speaking racist WS nonsense with the enemy. if you're not angry with that, but you're angry about some black man that started a live stream or a podcast speaking on the relationship woes between black men and black women, oh my God, you're either apathetic, a coward, and or a simp. Which one, or is it all of that? Man, stop letting these bitter big back assholes tell you what a real man is. How I know? Sometimes I listen in on some of these shows, specifically headed off by, those types. And believe me, in very small doses. And I'll read comments and in real-time live chat, and many of the same so-called men who complain about content creators that are red-pilled and manosphere, black manosphere, are the same ones bussy popping and simping during live streams ran by black misandrous female incels. I mean, I'm talking about High Queen, no matter how big her back is. The same guys actually will accept women who use the same talking points as red-pilled and black manosphere content creators, and instead of harsh critiques and accusations of self-hate, these dudes will actually overpraise those women, who are referred to by the misandrous as the pick-me. this beta mindset is abhorrent, man. Grow some balls, nigga, and then you know, you can get some feminine woman to cup them for you. These fake outrage ass, where my father at niggas versus the where my hug at niggas. And maybe one day you might get called a real man by some broad you met over the internet. How meaningful is that? That's the dream for all of you ninjas, whether you simple or not, whether you try to call yourself claiming these red pill manosphere ideologies, you know, just don't make her mad, or just flat out negotiate, and it just might happen. Nope. Power is not something that one gives up easily, even when given that power by something or someone else. I understand that points are made as to where this space stumbled with black men, but a lot of that shit is far reaching. A lot of it is matching female energy. Let me explain. Saying the black men who have critiques on black women hate their moms, they're mad about being rejected in high school, and my personal favorite, you must be gay. Shoot. Yep, calling dudes gay and spending time on live streams explaining to Miss Andress, talking about dudes speaking on women and relationships while simultaneously keeping the tropes of relationship combos and giving condescending, unsolicited advice. You know, that's what women do, guys, and that's matching female energy. You know, simping is actually matching female energy. And don't say that bullshit. I understand female nature. No, you don't, you fucking idiot. But, you know, here's Kev being brutally honest, though. Most newer black man content creators will steer clear of red pill, black manosphere style content, you know, whether to protect their brand or just out of sheer embarrassment for the things that they have heard. You know, many will stay clear because they are terrified of black women. And you know what? That is okay, except being scared of women, though. I mean, get some help, dog, for real. If one feels they must protect their reputations and in many cases income, you know, then this style of content may not be a fit, you know, and that's called intelligence. And I'm not against anybody getting money, and I'm not gonna overuse the term grift. But, you know, when I see black men content creators whose audience is far reaching, by the way, who brand themselves with this black manosphere virtual space, these red pill ideologies, when you have a black manosphere content creator hold a panel full of men who spaz out when a woman shows up and joins the panel instead of conducting the convo, giving the bitch the attention she wants, or doing some fucked up shit like this. You know, listen to this real quick.
So let me ask you this: it's what, 4 other men other than BGS? We already know he loves black women, but the other 4 of y'all.
Hey, you know what, May? That is the bane of my existence. I cannot leave you hoes alone. Okay, because I love black women.
You love us, BGS.
I know.
You dedicated your life.
And I hate it, okay? Because I could have had a white woman and been fucking rich and happy, okay? I hate it because white women love my ass, okay? They love my ass, but I don't like them. I'm not sexually attracted to white women. Bane of my existence.
Well, it's natural. That's good.
Shout out to Keep It 100 for this. Check out Marcus on his channel, link in the description below. Read the screen. Read the screen.
You know, but I'm not hating, you know, she only wanted your channel deleted and others deleted too. So, you know, that's kind of living on your knees. But anyway, when you are a far-reaching black man YouTuber, and, you know, you're telling vulnerable-minded black men in front of the hundreds of people that the way to political salvation is through a white woman. And then, you know, this is just a rumor, contribute to a lonely man's fund, which I have never done. And, you know, also when I see a so-called black YouTuber who claims responsibility for helping to create the space that would come to be known as the Black Manosphere, moves overseas and frolics about like a wannabe tether and downs others in the process because he's ugly, then I admit many of the arguments in this rant are difficult to make and it is embarrassing sometimes. But despite all of that, there are still cool and level-headed men in this space. And to just flat out say that the space is dead is unfair to those men, you know. Puto payaso shit that you're spreading there. Admit it, some of these black men are onto something. Maybe listening instead of cherry picking, you know, the stuff that you just don't like, and, you know, will alleviate a lot of confusion. I tell you what, this sentiment about Red Pill and Manosphere, black Manosphere guys better not be about. That regular ass disdain for black men and, you know, that hatred and like you buck dancing for butter biscuits, hating on the brothers. And, you know, I want all the smoke for that shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, tell me what you think in the comment section. Is the black Manosphere dead? Is Red Pill content dead? Feel free to leave your thoughts, and long live the habitual line steppers. Peace.
Surprise, motherfucker.